Is this working? I have no idea. It looks like it's just a black screen. I don't know why. Because it shows up correctly in OBS. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. I guess it just had to take a second to update. Okay, cool. Alright, well, hopefully this will look good. I don't know. I don't have a very fast upload speed internet. The download speed is great, but the upload speed is not great, which is not great for streaming. But I don't know. I'm hoping that since, the screen will stay mostly static, a lot of this is just gray, maybe it won't matter, but we'll see. Yeah. Okay. So, right now I'm working on a magnifier. So, I'm working on some optics here, and I wanted to make a magnifier. Now I've got kind of this already. I was working on this a little bit earlier, but I realized that this isn't going to work, so I'm going to have to start over. But it has the general idea. It has the direction that I want to go. The main problem with this design is that I didn't consider how it actually connects to the mount. So I'm gonna have to start this over. So before I actually get started, I want to kind of like lay out my idea. So magnifiers are really cool, but I actually don't like them at all. I've used them before in like airsoft and stuff, and they're just terrible. I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where it's like if you actually trained properly, and got used to using one, then you could use it effectively. But the eye relief and the eye box is just terrible on every single magnifier I've ever used. I loathed them. So the basis for my idea here was to make a magnifier more useful. And my idea was, what if the magnifier, instead of being just like a magnified optic, right? With just glass and lenses and everything that just increases the zoom. What if it was like a camera, right? And then it fed that video feed to a screen, because then the screen could, it's going to have infinite eye relief. You're just looking at a screen. I don't know how practical of an idea it is. I don't know that they exist in real life, like a digital magnifier. I don't know, they probably do. It's not that novel of an idea, but if they do exist, they're certainly not popular. And I assume that's for good reason. Either it just doesn't work, or it's just not very good. It's possible also that the reason that that doesn't exist is because, the beauty of a magnifier is that it's, this auxiliary thing that you can add to any like red dot or holographic site that immediately gives it more potential, and the magnifier doesn't need to have its own batteries, or, it's a very simple thing. There's very few things that can go wrong with the magnifier. So making it like a digital camera, adds a lot of complexity. It adds a lot of failure points, and so that's probably a big reason as to why they're not done. But I'm making this for kind of like a sci-fi world, and in this sci-fi world that I'm creating, power is like not an issue. They've got like high level like lithium batteries that are really, really powerful. So I'm imagining a world where like battery power is basically, negligible. You don't need to worry about battery power. So that's why I'm doing this. But we need to restart, unfortunately, because yeah, this isn't going to work. So I was just kind of blocking out things originally, and I got a little carried away. But I've just got some optics here. So I've got technically So this one is completely my own design. And this one is based off of a red dot actually, but I just kind of turned it into a holographic and added a few things that aren't on the real thing. That's just how it is, you know. But I just got them here on this rail just to, you know, so I can get the height right for the magnifier, because you obviously want it to be able to see through the optic. So yeah, let's just get started. I think I'm going to, hold on, I have to, my whole setup is kind of different because I have to use one of my screens to do like OBS and all that stuff, and I'm not used to having to do that. So, let's see, here we go. So I have to move around my windows a bit, but it shouldn't be too big of an issue. So we're going to duplicate this. All right, so this is going to be the base of the mount. Why is this only half? Does it not have, I guess it doesn't have the other side. I guess I just mirrored it. That's all right. All right, so we're going to bring this in. This isn't necessarily a tutorial or anything, but you never know. You might learn something. Maybe I'll learn something. We'll just position it there for now. I don't know exactly how big I want this to be, but this is going to be the base of our magnifier mount. I guess we need to, I could have sworn, why does that not have the other side? Did I fuck that up earlier, like way long ago? I guess I must have. I don't know. Alright, I guess we'll just take this one then. So we can go ahead and just delete this. We'll just use this. It's pretty much the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. In fact, this probably also works better, so it is what it is. The only downside is that this one is all applied. I guess I fucked up somehow. I have no idea. I didn't even think that was possible for me to fuck up. Alright. Also, I hope the audio levels are good, because I have no fucking clue. Alright. Let's just take this and we'll separate that. Also, we should move these to, there we go. So we're working in here, yes, correct? Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so we're going to take this and we're going to try to revert this. It shouldn't be too hard, because it's pretty simple, but it is a little unfortunate that we have to do this. So let's see, if I want to, let's deselect these, I guess, and let's delete those, delete that, do that. Is this going to be any fat? No, okay, I'm just going to delete this. This should be easy enough to just replace. Is this centered? It is. Okay, cool. We're just doing something really basic just to get us kind of started, because like I said, I'm going to try to start with like the block out first, and then we will get to more complex stuff later. So let's see, something like that. It only has to look like it works, you know? It doesn't have to actually work, that's the thing. So, this is our base. I mean, I guess that's a good enough size. It doesn't need to be, I mean, I guess we could shorten it, honestly. Let's make it a little bit shorter. Something like that, yes. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So we want a powered like digital camera type of magnifier. I was assuming, so you know, I'm doing the flip to side style. Nowadays there's also the like flip to center with like the Unity magnifier mount. That one's newer. Some people might say it's cooler, but I'm doing flip to side. And so I was thinking about it, you know, there still has to be some kind of power source, right? There has to be some kind of battery. It's just that the battery lasts really long, so you don't have to worry about it like running out. I mean, obviously it'll run out eventually, as all batteries do, but still. And batteries are typically fairly heavy. I mean, especially when you're talking about something, you know, the size of like the palm of your hand, the battery's going to contribute a big amount of weight. I figured it would probably be better to have it so that the battery is housed like in the mount itself, rather than on the actual like magnifier, because that way when you flip it to the side you don't have an extra weight of the battery hanging off the side of the gun. It also puts that extra strain on the hinge, you know, so I figured let's just incorporate the battery into the mount and then the power could go through the hinge. I mean, that's probably not terribly difficult. It's like all laptops work like that, right? So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. The other thing though I have to consider is that, you know, I try to make my models so that they're as flexible as possible, because I only have a limited amount of time to work on all of this stuff. So, you know, I need it to work in the future as well as right now. And it's possible that I might not want every single magnifier. Well, it's pretty much certain that I won't want every single magnifier to be, you know, digital. I will want to make some that are just regular lenses, right? And for that, I will not need a mount that has a battery built into it because it's not, you know, it's not powered. So I would like to make a mount that is easily flexible between having the battery and not having the battery. So I'm basically going to have to make two different mounts, essentially, but I would like for them to be as similar as possible so that I can borrow as much as possible between them. Hopefully that's not too big of an issue, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, so let's start blocking this out properly. We want this to be fairly tall, but we have to consider that, you know, the magnifier is going to add some height to it also. Let's go ahead and add in a cylinder. I'm not 100% determined on what I want the height to be for this. I mean, I kind of fucked up, I guess, if you will, by not really taking into consideration the height of these optics when I originally modeled them. I don't have any kind of standardization when it comes to the exact height, so these sit at slightly different heights. I have this one on a riser, because without it, it would be way lower than this one. But as long as it's like generally close to these, I think it'll be good. You can see here we've got one of those windows. I think I'm probably going to aim for somewhere around, aim, no pun intended. I don't know, probably somewhere like there would be good, I think, for both. It's close enough to the middle on that one, and then, yeah, it's pretty close to that one also. So I think that's probably good. As for the size, I mean, that's probably pretty good right there. maybe a little smaller. I don't know. What is the size of this? What is? Let's see. Item 35 millimeters. Okay, that's pretty big actually. Is it big? I don't know. What are the dimensions on like a regular magnifier? Let's see. I'm looking off screen. Sorry. I'm looking up a magnifier in real life to see their dimensions. It's always a good idea to use reference when possible. Let's see. Okay, so the G43 has a width of 58. I figured they would have had the like lens, you know, like the objective diameter of the lens as a metric, but it's not apparently. Unless 43, maybe that's what it means, 43 millimeter. No, it looks a lot smaller than that, so that's probably not right. But it says the width is 58.4 millimeters, so 35 millimeters for just the lens, because the 58 or whatever it was for everything. So I think 35 for the lens is probably going to be good. So we're going to do something like that, and then let's duplicate this. I don't know what I want the shape of the magnifier to be, but for now we're just going to use this because it's easy, and we're just blocking it out, like I said. Something like that. I don't know how big I want that to be, but I'm thinking something like this, maybe. It's definitely on the bigger side. Maybe something more like that. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Maybe a little bit bigger, but not that much. So then we have that, and then let's just go ahead and separate this. And we're gonna grab some of these bottom faces, and we're gonna pull them down. And it's gonna be like that. I mean, this is like basically the EOTech magnifier right now. So how is the height? We also have to take into consideration where the hinge is going to be. So, you know, we'll add in another cylinder. I'm thinking the hinge is going to be like here-ish. So if I saved. I did not mean to save, but that's okay. I meant to do that, and then I'm gonna take these. I guess I'm gonna join these back together. Let's do this, and then we will rotate X. I don't know. Oops, not X. Y. I guess most magnifiers, you know, I guess they're 90 degrees. But something like that. So that would be the position. If the hinge is there, that would be the flipped out position of the magnifier. I don't know, that just seems like it's kind of in your face, but it's been a little while since I used a magnifier, so I'm not 100% confident. I mean, we could go a little bit further with it. It doesn't have to be something like, you know, I think that would be better. I don't know, what is that? 143. So maybe like 145 then. So if we do something like that, I think that looks pretty good. I think that's sensical. I don't think we'd run into any issues where that would like clip into, you know, any of the guns that we would put this on. So shouldn't be a big issue. So yeah, we'll do 145 degrees of rotation, and I think that hinge point is good. So yeah, now we just need to work on the design. So we can just duplicate this, or actually I'm just going to take this and do this. Although, there we go. Just so that it's perfectly centered. So we want our battery to be somewhere like there. It's not of the utmost importance, but I think that'll work. And then we can easily make a version that is it doesn't have the battery cap, right? But it would still have all this volume, which I mean would be a little bit wasteful. I guess, you know, honestly, we could probably do a version like this, which is a shorter thing here, I guess. That would probably work. The question is, okay, so there was that, I think it was Modern Warfare 3 that like originally popularized the flip to side magnifier, right? At least in like the general public, right? And the model that they used had a little button here on the side that would, you know, it actuated the spring. So you would pull this down and then the thing would flip over, and then to put it back you would just pull it over. On a lot of the other like magnifiers I've been looking at, there isn't any kind of mechanism there. I think the thing that keeps it in place is just a very rigid hinge mechanism. So hold on, wait, what? Sorry, I'm reading something. Okay, I don't know what that means, but cool. Okay, anyway, so the thing is that, you know, having the mechanism be in the hinge that just keeps it all rigid, right? I think that makes a lot more sense in terms of like ease of use, right? Which is pretty important when you're working on something like this. But having having some kind of mechanism here, it gives you more visual interest, right, in the model. So I have to decide, do I want more visual interest, or do I want something that just makes a bit more sense, right? I think I'm probably just going to go with the thing that makes more sense, because it just makes more sense, and it is also less work. But I will have to decide that at some point. But yeah, I guess we can just get started actually working on this now. So let's just hide that for the time being. For this, I don't know. I don't want to put too much like detail into this particular part. It just needs to be pretty simple. Nothing too fancy. Honestly, I have no idea what I want this to look like. I mean, I have an idea of what I want the magnifier to look like, but like the whole thing, you know, as a package and making it look like a cohesive design, I'm not really sure. So let's I need to create a new collection and put the stuff I'm working with in that collection. just so I don't get it confused with my other attempt. Let's see. So we're going to take this, we're going to separate that so we can hide it, because like I said, I don't think I'm going to go with a cylinder. I think I want it to be more square, like in my original idea. Alright, so let's make sure that there's no clipping there, and then let's grab these and pull them forward so they line up with the front of the mount, and then I guess that's good for that. Let's go ahead and do auto smooth on this. Alright, how exactly this is going to flow into the box is, you know, that's a question for sure that I don't know that I have the answer to just yet. But that's okay. So I don't want this to be too big. I was kind of lining it up with the other optics originally. Also, it's important, and at least in my opinion, to have an idea of the manufacturer, because each manufacturer has kind of a different idea, you know, of, or, you know, they have like different design principles. So I've got some fictional companies here that make the different products, and I thought that this magnifier would be a PrisTech magnifier. So we've got PrisTech. So it's going to be, you know, I was kind of following this general shape. That's the idea. So I gotta sneeze. All right, I muted myself. I thought I was gonna sneeze, but I didn't. So we're going to try to kind of make it look a bit like that, but we'll see how it actually ends up. So we want, turn that off. We want it to go to about there, and then where was the end? So let's pull it out to there, do that. So that's the general gist of what we're going for. I'm going to grab these front ones and bevel them just to get a slightly more interesting shape. Although, like I discovered, that might be a bad way of doing it. So I'm actually going to, I'm just going to do a cylinder with 8 sides. This will give us the same result, but it's more precise, which is good. Okay, let's see, what about there? About there. And let's bring that back one more time so that I can see where this goes to. And then we can hide that again. Alright, so we have this shape. So let's see, we want to I forget how to do this. Man, I just did this like a second ago. Why am I forgetting how to do this? I guess we do this. Let's select edges. That's kind of an interesting shape on its own, but that's not what we're really going for here. There we go. Okay, that's how you do it. I don't know why I couldn't remember. Sometimes my brain just doesn't work. Okay, so this is what we want. This was the shape we were doing earlier, but now we know that this octagon is perfectly octagonal. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab these, and we're going to dissolve those. And then we're going to grab these, and we're going to pull these out. Now I know you're going to say, now you're just back to an octagon again, and yes, I am. But it's a slightly different shape, okay? So it's not exactly the same thing, okay? It's not exactly the same thing. So let's see. We need to, once again, verify that this is the right length. I mean, it really doesn't matter that much, but as long as we're trying to keep things consistent, we might as well. Alright, so that is the general shape. You know, I think that looks pretty cool. So one thing I was doing was, if I take these edges and then, you know, do individual origins. Actually, I need to do this first. I need to add a loop into here. Like that. And maybe just another one there or something. Okay, so now we take these edges and we're going to make them smaller, and we get this kind of interesting shape where, you know, it stays square, but then it flows into more of a circular shape. So we're going to do something like that. And then you can start to see the resemblance between, you know, this design and this. All right, so that's the idea. That's the idea. Now, I was going back and forth also on the idea of having buttons. All right, so, you know, on my other design, I don't know where that was. Here we go. I guess it was one of the cylinders. No. There it is. So on my other design, you have this. You have a bunch of buttons, because I mean it's like a digital camera, right? And you're going to have like an interface on the inside and everything. But at the same time, I still want it to be a relatively simple thing, right? I want it to be just, you know, it's a magnifier. You just pop it into place, and it, you know, it would automatically turn on, that sort of thing. So I don't know if I wanted to have like the super complex buttons, but it might just have a few buttons. Who knows? Maybe a few buttons. I think a few buttons is okay. I think that's okay. I can live with a few buttons. Let's go ahead and shade this auto smooth as well. Okay. So for the front, let's see, I had a cube that I was using to cut out. No, there it is. So this is going to be the cutout for the lens, although that's not perfectly in place. So let's do that. I think that should be right? Yeah. don't have the modifiers tab or the properties tab or whatever it's called on the main window that I'm screen recording, so you can't actually see me do this, unfortunately. I mean, I guess I could pull it over. I could do this the right way, right? We're gonna add a boolean, and we're gonna set this to this, and we can get rid of that. So now, you know, it's got the lens. At least that's the shape we're going for. Far from finished, but we'll go ahead and apply that, and it might help to actually be able to see what we're doing. So let's see, let's just go ahead and clean this up. You always got to clean up your booleans. Unfortunately, we're not quite at the stage yet where booleans are like, you know, able to figure themselves out. But that's okay. It's not that bad to do this manually. And I don't even do that great of a job. I just get it to a point where it works. And that's good enough for me. Alright, so we're going to delete those for now and fill that in. So what we want is we're going to bring this in, and let's, do I want, yeah, let's actually, okay, so do that. We're going to bring this in a little bit first, then we inset it. We're going to pull that back like that, and then we'll go back like that, and we'll just delete that face for now. We need to select these though and mark them as sharp. I mean, we're just going to go ahead and mark everything as sharp that needs to be sharp, including these. So we're looking at something like that currently. We're going to put some shutters in here eventually. In fact, I'm probably just going to borrow the ones off the other optic. But for now, that's just going to stay empty. So that's what we're looking at right now. I guess we need to start incorporating the hinge into it. We need to start considering where the hinge is going to be. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll get the hinge, and we'll pull this forward to match. And then I guess this will come out to here. I don't know that it matters that much, but we'll do that, sure. So we want this to look good. I wonder, should so it's going to be a 3-segment hinge, right? So it's going to look like this, you know. This is just a crude way of doing it, but it's going to look like this. So do I want the one hinge to be to the base, or do I want the one hinge to be to the magnifier? Or maybe I don't do a 3 hinge. Maybe 3 hinge is bad. Maybe 3 hinge is bad. Maybe just a 2 hinge. Just a center. So like 1/2 goes to, yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so we'll do that, and then I guess we'll do the back one goes to the base and front one goes to the magnifier. I think that makes more sense because we've got intersections over here that'll make it harder for us to do that. So yeah, I think we'll do that. Should I make this bigger then? Because I mean, if this is going to attach to the base, maybe we make it the whole length. Does that look stupid? I mean, if we're going to do that, it seems weird to not have the hinge separate in the middle. So then something like that. I don't know, does that look... This is the hard part. I don't know. Does that look stupid? Is this still... Yeah, it's still like that. Let's... So that's what it'll look like folded. And then it'll have connections there and then connections there. No, I think that looks good. I think that looks fine. So we'll keep that. Yeah. I am going to dissolve that for now. Because actually we're just going to cut this in half, and then we'll separate them, and we will select one of them and select the other one, because then when we hit it with a bevel, you know, okay, well, that's too extreme, but when we hit it with a bevel, there, it'll look like it's separated, right? I mean, we're going to hit it with an auto smooth. We hit everything with auto smooth. That's just the way you got to do it. But yeah, so that's what it'll look like, and then we're gonna we'll do a center pin through the hinge like that. So cool. We'll turn that off for now. Let's just go ahead and separate the halves, and then we will go ahead and join. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just join that to that. So now we need to, how do we want to mend these two things? Let's just grab this, lift it up so we can actually see what we're working with. Let's just lift up the whole thing. All right, so we need this to connect to this. I do want it to look good, you know, I want it to flow. So let's go ahead and add a loop, and it's already on. Let's line it up with this so that, you know, they're consistent. Do I just want to like come down, like, let's hide this for a moment. We could just use like the tangent or whatever. I don't know, what do you think? Like this one, probably? Like that one? Let's see, what is that one? I can't fucking see it. Let's select the whole thing. Okay, so it's that one. Yeah, I mean, probably, it's probably that one. So we take that and then join it to, like, maybe this one. Okay, no, not that one. This one. Will that look really fucking stupid? I don't know. We're about to find out. I guess I might as well make this easier for myself. Actually, yeah, I'll just do that. So we're going to do the same thing over here. It's probably this one. So select this one, and then join it to that, like that. So that's going to all be filled in. It's kind of hard to imagine, I know, but trust me. Let's just go ahead and duplicate that, hide it for now, so we can always come back. I do that pretty often, just because you never know. And we'll just go ahead and start making this look like what it will end up looking like. So we get rid of this all the way up to including this one. And let's just select these all, recalculate the normals, and did that properly select those? No, did not. Do that. So that's what it's going to look like. Is that too bulky? Does that look stupid? I don't know. We'll roll with it for now, but we might come back to that. We might decide that that's not good. So then we select this, select that. Also, I know this is a gnarly n-gon, but don't worry. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Honestly, we don't even really need this vertice here anymore. Vertex. But again, we'll fix that later. So that's the shape. That's the general shape that we've got. So that when it's folded out, it'll look like that. I mean, it looks robust at least. You know, it doesn't look like it's gonna break. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. It'll be on the heavier side, okay? But that's just the price you pay for technology. That is a really tiny. But I mean, like, we have to, right? We have to. I don't know. We'll double back. We'll double back on that. But now we have to do the other side of the hinge and how we want that to connect. This one's going to be a little bit weirder because we have not that one, that one. We have the body of the magnifier that we have to worry about. So, okay, let's just go ahead, select this, separate it, and then join it to this one. There we go. And maybe to the base, I guess, probably is the safest bet. So we'll do this, do it to there, and then, so I guess we'll connect it to here. Probably makes the most sense. And probably to that one, right? Or is it to this one? No, it is to this one. Let's connect it to that one. And then, I don't know. Because we can't connect it to this one, because then it'll intersect there. So, I guess we'll have to create a loop there. Something like that. And then, nope, not that one. Probably that one. Although it actually looks like it might. Yeah, it works on that one. Does that look stupid? Yeah, that looks really stupid. Oh man. This is tough. This is tricky. I've tried to make magnifiers before. I'm not good at it. If you couldn't already tell. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, you know what, actually? I think the problem is that we jumped the gun on shaping the base. So let's push this back. So it's like that. And then let's see. Because we want it to be at least parallel, right? With that, with this side. We want this top side to be parallel. Because if we do like, okay, I gotta turn that off. If we do like this, and then, you know, we go from like here to here, whoops, not there to there, there to there. I just don't, it's slightly not parallel, and that bothers me. It makes it look weak, like this is a weak connection point. I guess we could always shape this to include the cut, I guess. I don't know. Progress has come to a halt. Let's see what it looks like with this up here as well, to see what having this come out of here looks like. Does that look fine? Yeah, I think that looks fine. I can recalculate this. There. I think. Hold on. Okay, so although now I'm looking at it and we've got an intersection here too now actually. That's not good. Let's see. Yeah, let's we're gonna have to cheat a little bit. I mean, it's not really cheating, but let's see. Okay, this one. We're gonna do that. That's what we're going to do, and I'm gonna delete all of these. That, and then we can actually, this side is going to be the same no matter what, so we can go ahead and, do we want it to go to there? I think that makes the most sense probably, right? And then, why did this not get dissolved? I guess I never dissolved that. So actually, let me dissolve that first. Select these, select this, and then we bevel this here. That works. So we got rid of the intersection there. As for this intersection, we will deal with that a bit later. But for now, it's fine. Fill that in. Fill that in. So now if we raise this up so we can see, that is what the base, the mount, looks like. It's a character model, but I don't need anything crazy done to it. Can I send it through email? I don't really care if it's done in the most simple way. Any help is appreciated. So this is what we've got right now. All right. That works. That works for me. I guess we could actually, I think it makes more sense to do the cutout out of this. I was going to do the cutout out of this, but I think it makes more sense to do the other. We can hide that for now. So what we want to do is just pull this down. Then we'll do a loop here like this. And we can raise this up just a bit for now. So what we want is to delete that. Something like that? Yeah, I think that actually works quite well. I think that'll be good. Is that like perfectly lined up? Probably not, right? Yeah, it isn't. Hopefully this works, but we'll see. Nope. Oh, well, I don't need... Well, I mean, I do kind of need that to be like that. Why is that so... Oh, it's because... Okay, hold on. Right. Okay, there we go. Okay, it still doesn't want to do it correctly. I mean... Does it have to be perfect? Does it have to be perfect? I don't know. I would like it to be perfect. Why does this one look bigger than this one? That's just strange to me. Anyway, okay, we're just gonna eyeball it. We're gonna try to get as close as possible. This is like bad practice. This is really bad practice. But I don't care. Alright, so now it's basically correct, right? Yep, straight up and down. So that's the idea. And this should still fit, I believe. I guess I only went up 50. It's snug for sure, but there's definitely a gap there. And then when I bevel it, it'll be even more obvious. We need to mark everything is sharp. Like that. There we go. Yeah, that actually looks, I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. We might want, I mean, so the reason it's not beveling perfectly is because we've got a lot of weird shit going on here. Let's go ahead and duplicate this so that we have a reference point for the center of the hinge. Want to make sure that it is centered. There we go. And then we can just go in here and dissolve all of these edges that don't matter, like so. There we go. So, yeah. Now we're getting the proper bevel. We don't need it to be that big, though. 0.5 is typically what I aim for. Sometimes smaller, though, depending on, you know, what it is. But I think that'll do for this. So yeah, I mean, there's a gap there. I mean, you're not really going to see that, but it's nice to know that it exists, right? We might actually want to go a little bit smaller with the bevel because we kind of want this to match. So let's go 0.4. I don't know what I used on this. It looks like it might be a bit smaller than that. 0.3 maybe? Maybe 0.35. We'll go 0.35. Let's see, what is this one? It is 0.3 actually. That's okay. I'll stick to 0.35. I like a bigger bevel, personally. It's just, that's my personal style, is bigger bevel. So we'll go with that. I guess we could we also need to clean up this. We'll do the same thing here, where we keep a reference point for the center of the hinge. And then we can dissolve out those edges. Why does that look like it's just barely not right? But now it is, so we're good. As for these, I think I'm just going to leave those for now, in all honesty. I'll probably end up dissolving them at some point, and then just figuring out the topology. But for now, that's fine. The real problem is these things. So like this one's going to be easy enough. I just dissolve the vertice. Honestly, yeah, I can just do that. Do that, and then do that, I guess. And then do like that. I don't know. My topology is not good. But then this one, because this one actually is important. I don't know how I want to do this one. I might just... I don't know. Whoops. That looks bad. So what are our options here? Our options are to add like a loop here, and then like merge this, which is probably the best course of action. That doesn't look too bad. I still don't know how that's going to bevel though. It's not terrible. We're going to turn off loop slide. I typically turn off loop slide. I should probably do that on this one as well. Just so that it doesn't mess with, you know, it's because I have bad topology, you know. If my topology was better, then loop slide wouldn't matter, but my topology is not better, so it does matter. ThereThere's some funky stuff going on there, but we won't worry about that right now. So we're going to grab that. There we go. Okay, I you know what? I think it's coming together. It's finally coming together. Let's get the, what was it, this one? No, it was this one. So we've got this back. We've got no intersections, which is good. We need to, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to, okay, I've still got this, good. We can do that, and then we're going to add in a new cylinder. So we're going to kind of make a second version of this that we're going to use for the boolean, because we want it to be a little bit bigger, actually. Just pull that down, doesn't matter where it goes exactly. So something like that, and that should fully encompass. It does, yeah. Fully encompasses that. So that's going to be our bool object. So we're going to add boolean to this, and then use that to subtract that, so that we, okay, I didn't take into account depth. So we don't want it that deep, obviously. We just need it, okay, turn that off. We just need it to go to about there. I mean, again, this is a detail you're not really going to notice, but it is an important detail, I think. That might be too large, actually. Let's pretty much the same, but just a little tiny bit bigger. I think that'll work. And then again, everything looks better with a bevel on it. So we'll add the bevel. Okay, it doesn't look better right off the bat, but that's just because I haven't marked everything as sharp. There we go. Mark is sharp. So then you can see that cutout, right? It'll look better in material view, where you can actually see that ambient occlusion, so that you can see that there is a cutout there. It's tough because it's it's untextured, but if we reduce the strength, you can kind of start to see that. I guess I could choose a better one with a bit less direct light. Let's do that. That one works. So there you go. It actually looks like it's recessed into there, which is what we want. All right. I'm going to take a drink of water because I am thirsty. Okay. So this is the general shape we have so far. I'm not 100% sure if I want the viewing window to be square or octagonal or circular. I think I'm going to go circular though. So we're going to go ahead and grab this and add in another cylinder. Do that, I guess. Something like that is fine. And we'll just hit it with another bool. Like that. Except we're actually going to apply this one. Let's shade auto smooth. The bevel on this one is pretty intense. Probably don't need it to be that intense. So then we're going to come in and go back in one more time just so we get that kind of, that offset look. I don't know. We might end up changing that. Probably will end up changing that. But for now, I think that works. Actually, I want to try something else, actually. Let's do this. I want to try, let's make this a little bit bigger. I want to see what this would look like to do, what the fuck? Why did that do that? That was weird. I guess, oh, that's why. Because the topology is really bad. Just like always. I'll just put that there. I guess I need to set this to loop slide off. There we go. Alright, so now this should work. We want to inset this, and then I want to pull this out. I want to see what this would look like. Does that look interesting? Kind of interesting. How big, how thick do we want that to be? We can make it thicker. That looks kind of interesting. We can go deeper with this, and then inset this, and then go deeper with it again. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I think that will look good. Okay, so buttons. Do we want to put buttons on there? I think it needs to have like at least a couple buttons. Because it's a digital device, so it has to have some kind of like interface, right? You can't expect it to just work perfectly in every scenario, just out of the box, right? Which is the downside to, a digital device, which is probably why digital magnifiers don't exist, but in my world they do. So let's go ahead and add in some buttons. I guess I can turn that off of that. I don't know exactly how I want the button layout to be. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just do a square. Something like that, I think, will be fine. And then we'll do this, bevel this. Let's mark this sharp first. Bevel it, add some extra loops. We'll do something like that, because I've got some pre-made buttons that I use for other things. I can bring these in, and I'll use these. It'll probably look better than it would have if I had done it a different way anyway. So we want to add another boolean. Do that. That's really fucking deep. We don't want it to be that deep. There we go. Something like that, I think would be good. And then let's take that. I don't know how I want the layout to be, so let's set this to bounding box. I guess it should be oriented, forward, straight. And then okay, so these are going to have to be made a little bit smaller, but that's perfectly fine. I guess I can just select these all. Maybe like 0.9. Probably a bit smaller than that even. 8.5. Yeah, I think 8.5 will work. So we do that. And then we do like that. And then we'll do like that. And we'll throw the night vision button in there too. I don't really know exactly what it would do, but we'll put it in there just to fill up this fourth spot. Maybe it dims the screen so that when you're using it at night, people don't see you from really far away because they just see the glow of the screen, right? So we'll do that, and then we'll bring this down, and they'll sit in there like that. Takes a bit of a second to get to material view. It looks really dark because we darkened it. Go figure. But yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. I think that'll work. I mean, the buttons are kind of close together, so and maybe it makes more sense for these to be on the other side. this. Because, I mean, you imagine most people are right-handed, so they're going to be pressing the buttons with their left hand, and these are the two buttons that you're probably going to be using the most. So you want those to be closer to the left side, I would say. That's what I'm going to do, but I don't know. Let's just make sure these are lined up properly. So we're just going to do that, and then I'm going to select that. Do that, and then select this, and do that. There we go. So now they're perfectly lined up with one another. I don't know if I want to move their position. Maybe something like that, and then for this one, something like that, I guess. I think that works. So those will be the buttons on top. Battery will be here. Power goes through the hinge. Windage and elevation. I guess that would be done digitally because it's a digital device. The windage and elevation on a magnifier doesn't really matter anyway because you're not zeroing the optic. It's just to center the reticle. This is the future, so we'll say that there's some like onboard chip that just auto centers the reticle. You know, that's the benefit of living in the future. I mean, it's coming along. It's coming along. I don't know. Do I want to throw them on there just for looks? Let's go ahead and separate these, and then these can just go up there for now. And then we're going to select these and do active element. I just want to get an idea for what it looks like folded away. You know, now that I think about it, it's good that we did that because you'll see it when it's flipped to the side. See, you always got to be thinking. But that looks pretty cool, I think. Why does this not... Oh, because it's not... Wait, but it should be. Oh, because I didn't... I'm stupid. Okay, let's flip that back. Let's just go ahead and apply these. For now, it's fine. It doesn't matter. We can raise this up because we're going to definitely need to clean this up. So let's go ahead and auto smooth everything. So, oh Jesus Christ. Okay, thank God. I don't know why that was hidden in the first place, but that's okay. This topology actually doesn't look that bad, I gotta admit. I'm impressed. We're going to turn off the bevel for a moment just so we can see better what we're doing. But we're just going to get rid of some of those n-gons. Do I want to do a loop here? I guess we can. I don't know how important it is, but we'll do that. I guess keep quads when you can, right? Do that. Select those. Mark them as sharp. For these, let's just do that, I guess. I mean, we could do to here. We could do both. Shit. I'm just gonna do both. I'm just gonna play it safe. I don't really care about poly count, in all honesty. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm just not even gonna worry about it. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, we gotta clean up this, so we're gonna add some continuity. some shit here. Let's do this one to there. Same over here. Then we can do like from there to there. This is all flat, so it doesn't even really matter. I'm just trying to get rid of n-gons. I mean, well, I'm not really getting rid of n-gons. I'm just making smaller n-gons. Something like that, I think, will be fine. Let's see it beveled. So there we go. So if we drop that, man, when I always get that problem. Okay, so let's look at that one more time. So now if we look at the underside, there's the bevel there. Nice. It actually looks not too bad. It doesn't make a ton of sense. Well, actually, no, yeah. We're definitely going to add some stuff here. Yeah. Although, well, I don't know. So, I'm going to put some details here, like a cutout. So we're going to do a center one, you know. I mean, I guess I can just show what I'm going to do, right? All right, so let's raise this up. So let's get a cube going. We're going to do something like that. I guess we can make sure that this is actually properly sized. And then we do median point. There we go. So we know it's perfectly centered. So I'm going to do a cutout like this, right? We're going to bevel this. I was contemplating putting like mounting screws here, but the problem is that we built this hinge piece already into this, which I'm starting to wonder if that was a good idea. I don't know. I mean, it looks fine. You know, design-wise, it looks fine. The problem is that for flexibility, it means I can't use a different style of mount with this. But honestly, I mean, when would I want to? Yeah, I don't know. We'll just do this one for now. If I decide to change it later, we can always come back. So let's just do this. Another boolean. Put it before the bevel. Our bevel got a little bit smaller, but that's just because boolean topology is always bad, so that's okay. Look at it through material view, just to get an idea of the size with like ambient occlusion and all that. Honestly, it might be a little wide. I might want to make it a little bit more narrow. Let's make it a little bit more narrow. Something like that. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so we'll apply that. Select everything, shade it smooth, as always. So, you gotta clean up the topology, but again, this is all flat, so it's super easy when you don't care about making it actually good. you know, that's weight savings, right? It's a redundant area, so you just carve it out, reduce the weight a little bit, because this is going to be made out of metal, so, you know, taking out that little chunk would be a decent amount of weight savings. How deep do we want it to go? Maybe like, I mean, fairly deep, probably like there. I mean, so like this is the circle, right? We want to keep it under that, I would say. We don't want to go past that. So let's go like there. You'll see that when it's flipped to the side. But otherwise, it's a hidden detail. We can go ahead and drop that. Let's go ahead and do the pin in the hinge. So we're just going to do, whoops, something like that. That size is pretty good, maybe a little bit bigger. So then we're going to boolean, lots of booleans. I have a very boolean intensive workflow. And we want to boolean this one also. So now there's a hole, wow. And we can actually just use the boolean object. Well, I guess we need to apply those booleans. So we'll apply and apply. And now this can just become the pin because it's already the right size. So something like that. I'm thinking that maybe we should do another cutout here, just because it's a little plain, but more importantly is, I mean, there's nothing there, right? It would make sense. Again, weight savings. You wanna reduce the weight. We want to reduce the weight where we can, and because there would be nothing there really. I mean, I guess there could be some kind of electronics there, but we're gonna pretend that there isn't. So let us thanks Dory. Or isn't it, it's Dima, right? I think your name is Dima. Anyway, thanks, appreciate it. Let's see. Do something like this. I don't know, I'm just completely winging this, honestly. I don't know what I would want this cutout to even look like. I mean, I feel like it should follow some kind of contour here, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't want it to be too close to the edge here. What if we did two different cutouts actually? looks stupid. Something like that. The problem is that now this is like just a really weird shape. What even is that shape? It's got like all asymmetrical sides. Yeah, I don't know about that. You know what? Let's take a different approach to this. Let's use a plane. You know what, if I want it to be perfectly 45, I can just do that. Alright, so we've got that. We add a solidify modifier to it to give it volume. We want even thickness, high quality normals. I don't really know what high quality normals does. It just changes it sometimes. I don't know. It sounds good, you know. I want my normals to be high quality. Alright, so we do that. Although that's not really correct. We do want to adjust the thickness. Okay, maybe like 5. Okay, 5 is too small. 8. 8 is not bad. Something like that. Maybe we don't make it conform to that edge angle, and we just do like that, maybe. What does rim only look like? Okay, we don't want that. Would that look stupid? I feel like that would look stupid. It's weird, we've got a lot of conflicting angles here, making it hard to make something very cohesive looking, you know. Let's try this. Let's do this, and then what if we took this edge and beveled this, or let's just take all of the edges and bevel them all. Would that look really fucking dumb? Let's find out. Alright. This is probably going to ruin the bevel because there's a bunch of geometry in here that's going to get fucked up. But that's okay. Wow. It didn't. Incredible. Does that look stupid? It doesn't look good. But I don't absolutely hate it. I don't know. Although, you know what? I feel like we should make something that contours around the pin. That could maybe look better. Huh. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I've got a better idea. I can do better. I can do better. Let's do this. Let's start here. We'll use a cylinder. Bring it in. We're gonna contour around the bolt. I guess we'll keep it equidistant. with the edge. So we'll do like that. And then so we want to we'll delete those. Probably one more there. Alright, so we want to recalculate the normals on the inside. And then we're going to follow that edge to an arbitrary distance. I think there is good. I don't know, it's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's close enough. Then we do that. We bring this straight down, bevel this so we get that perfect 45. Let's do that. Bring that down. Oop, that didn't work. There we go. And I guess we'll bring that down to meet that. And then join that there. Will that look dumb? That's bothersome. Okay, so what we'll need to do is add a loop there. And this will need to actually, well, let's just go ahead and delete this face because we're not going to need it. Won't really need that one either. What we're going to do is we're going to grab this, and this has to stay parallel to that line. And then this can go straight over and meet up with this one. Then they get joined. We can dissolve that. That's better. Let's see. So finish the shape. We want to smooth out these. Let's just go ahead and clamp the overlap. Something like that. Merge by distance. Something like that. Then we grab all these and do something similar. I guess we should mark these sharp. Although, okay, now I'm realizing a mistake I've made. Let's undo that, and let's fix this mistake. The mistake I made is that I want this to come out and have a second section, but we've got unequivalent widths. So we want this kind of similar size up here. So let's bring this down until they're pretty similar. And then we have to bring this one over to be parallel again. I don't know, somewhere like that. I mean, we could always check it by just doing this. So it needs to go a little bit more to the right. Turn that off. That's pretty close. A little tiny bit more. I mean, that's pretty much perfect. Close enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab these, create a new box. And then we'll have two cutouts. sharps, and then we can go back and do these bevels again. We might as well mark them sharp first. Do that. Mark these sharp. Do that. Alright, let's take a look at this. Boolean. Okay, so I messed up our bevel, but that's fine. So that's what we're looking at. Let's take a look with ambient occlusion. It's really deep. Probably shouldn't go that deep. Maybe like there. I would ideally also like to see it with the bevel. The topology is just really bad. Yeah, I'm going to have to clean it up. We're going to apply it. We can always go back really easily if we need to. And then we get to have the fun of cleaning up this topology. Honestly, there's probably only like one error that's messing it up. This is the joy of the Boolean workflow, is doing all this cleanup. It's really not that bad, honestly. But this is the type of stuff that I look forward to AI being able to do. When it comes to AI in like art, obviously you want it to have as little of an impact on the final outcome as possible. But the one thing that I'm totally okay with AI doing is all this tedious shit that doesn't actually affect the outcome. I mean, I guess it kind of barely affects the outcome. This is perhaps a bad example. But there's plenty of other things like retopology. I mean, this is kind of retopology in a way. Stuff like that, where it's like, there's kind of just one right way to do it. So the AI can't even really fuck it up. So it might as well just do it and save me the time, right? That's my opinion on the matter. Let's do that. Do we have a double vertice somewhere? We do. We had 4. Hold on. Where are they? I want to know. Let's see. I'm just going to select all of this to make sure it's not somewhere else on the model. Merge by distance. Yeah, okay, so they are there. I don't know. I know you can just merge by distance and call it a day. I just personally don't love doing that because, you know, sometimes it can kind of choose poorly, in my opinion. Which one it wants to merge them to. So I always like to do it myself, but I don't even know where they are. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's merge by distance, see what we get. So there's 2. Okay, there's 1. I know, I just ended up merging by distance anyway. That's okay. Okay, so there's the other one. As long as I know what's happening, I'm perfectly okay with it. Where is the other two? Where are the other two? I don't know. Where are they? Okay, I have no idea. I guess they're not there. Merge by distance. No, they're not there. We can go ahead and add some loops here so we can connect these. Just go ahead and line these up. Make everything congruent. So wait, are they still here? No. Oh wait. What is going on? Why is this considered a different loop? That should all be one loop. I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm gonna delete this face. Yeah, what is it doing? Okay, well, I don't care. I'm gonna break my own rule, and I'm just gonna select it all and then merge. I don't know where the other two are, and it's taking too long to find them. So we're just gonna do it the easy way. Is this one loop now? Yeah. I don't know where they were. I mean, I checked. I don't have proportional editing on or anything, so that's weird. Anyway, we can look at it now with the bevel on. I don't know. I don't love it, honestly. I don't love it. I feel like it's weird that the thickness around everything on the outside is fairly consistent, but then the thickness between each of these is really thin. That doesn't look right. The problem is if we were to try and remedy that by just like nudging this over. Now it's like weird that this is not like symmetrical with the middle of the thing, you know? Although it actually doesn't stick out quite as much as I would have thought. I don't know. I'm torn. I just don't really like how that looks for some reason. But I don't know why. This is the part of the 3D modeling process where you just look at your object and ponder it. Because, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to, like, improve it. But I'm not getting much. I wonder if What if we get rid of this one, maybe? So it's just that one. I do think that's an improvement, honestly. It was just a little busy. I think it was a little busy the way it was. Honestly, I think this could come down even more, but at this point, it's a little too late to do that. It's fine. We'll leave it. I think that looks good, though. I think that looks fine. So I mean, at this point, what are we trying to do? We've got the shutters. I can just copy those from over here. So we're gonna add these shutters. Let's take these, duplicate them. Okay, our camera's like way out in space. There we go. All right, so we're going to separate these, and they have a bunch of parenting data on them, so we're going to clear all that out. Like that. Get rid of that. All right. So now we can take this, and we're going to take it over here, and we're going to put it into there, like that. Looks like we need to make it a smidge bigger. Let's just grab these. Let's do individual origin and even those out. I don't know why those were messed up in the first place. And then, actually, I guess those aren't even the ones we want to do that too. I don't know why. I'm so stupid sometimes. I'm gonna go like there. That looks pretty good. And let's just make sure that it can fully open without coming out the top. Okay, so we can get it to about there. Doesn't fully clear the opening, unfortunately. But we do have some wiggle room, so I think we should be okay. We'll just make this a little bit smaller. And it's not really that important, but we'll also make this a little bit smaller just to fit it better. So now, if we go as tall as we can, oh man, it just barely clears it. But we still have, like, I mean, honestly, do we? It's so hard to tell which one is which. Yeah, I mean, it clears it. It clears it. It's good enough. So that's, you know, it's like a camera shutter. So that's that. I mean, we need to put a lens in there so we can move this out of the way temporarily. Not that far. We'll just do a cylinder. I guess we have to do it like this. There we go. Doesn't need that much geometry. We can delete that. We can delete that. Let me just select the whole thing and squish it. And shade it smooth so we get a nice round effect. position it in here like so, so that we can texture that and it'll look like a lens. Same thing for this side. Put a lens on this side. There we go. Honestly, that should probably be a little bit more exaggerated. I don't know. Something like that. I think that's good. We never did the battery compartment. I guess we could do that now. I'm just trying to look to see if there's anything else that we need to do. Honestly, it's pretty good. We'll put the logo on this side, maybe on this side, I don't know. Before we do that, let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at what it would look like. We're just gonna this is how I do all my models. I don't have a UV window open. Nice. This is just a temporary solution, obviously. So let's see. This is, we can turn this back up so we can actually see what we're doing. There we go. All right. And then we're going to select this, Q project. Q project is the best project. Metal, black, half matte, 002. My bread and butter. For the pin, I usually use like a silver, just so that it stands out. You can kind of see it better, you know. Notice that it's there. For this, the outer section, I think it might make more sense for this to be made out of plastic, potentially. Polymer. Black. Alright, we can close that. And then for this, we want non-transparent lens. I think that one's fine. Yeah, there we go. Okay. It's getting there. Let's I need to bring that back open. I'm gonna open it on a different screen. It's not that important. I'm just going to shrink the size of it so that the plastic material is a bit more obvious. Although, is this even the right material? This doesn't look right. Let's use a different polymer. Polymer black. There we go. That's a bit better. Something like that is what we're looking at. So this is what it'll look like behind the optic. And you know what? That's not too bad. That is not too bad. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I mean, it looks like a magnifier, so that's good. Obviously, it's rudimentarily rudimentarily, is that a word? I mean, I imagine it's a word. Rudimentarily textured. But, I mean, it gets the point across, right? And then let's take a look at what it would look like folded over. Because that'll be cool. I didn't bring down that. Oh, well. Ooh. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I really wish that Blender supported, like, you know, dual rendered textures. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but like, you know, in games, when, you know, the game engine can utilize a secondary camera rendered like view as a texture in the engine. You can't do that in Blender, as far as I know, because it allows you to do things like scope rendering, which would be cool, like real-time scope rendering. Because the way that you could do it in Blender is that, you know, you just have to render the scene from the viewpoint of the optic and then use that rendered sequence as the image that you use as the texture. But that requires like 2 renderings. It's not automatic, which is a bit unfortunate. But that looks pretty good, honestly. I am not upset with that. It's not bad. I really want to see what it looks like on an actual weapon. It's not quite fully done yet though, so let's see. Okay, let's bring everything back up. We're not quite done. We're jumping the gun just a little bit, but we're close. We're close. We're very close. Is that everything? Yeah, that's everything. Let's bring everything back up. Alright. If we want this outer shell to be plastic, I think it makes more sense for this inner ring to be metal. So we're actually going to separate this. And then we'll grab, nope, not that. We want, nope, not that. Where is it? Give me the loop on the other thing. Okay, fine, I'll just do it this way. There we go. We want that. Why is that? Okay, so that's why I was messing up. It's still attached. Oh, it's because I'm stupid. Of course. I'm really stupid. There we go. Okay. So I only selected the one thing. I gotta turn off the bevel for now, because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. We gotta select the whole ring. I messed up. I messed up. Okay, there we go. That's what we want. So now we can pull this in, and for this, man, I have to select this whole thing again. We're gonna select this whole thing, and then we're just gonna create another group and do that, so that when we bevel it, you know, it has that kind of inset look. That's nice. What we can do with that is we can select this as a separate object now, and we can give it a new material. And we're going to give it half matte 002. So that's metal, and then the outside is plastic. And I think that looks better than before, where it was all plastic, because it just didn't look right, you know. This is supposed to be like an outer shell. There's an inner shell. And actually, now that I think about it, is this the same diameter as the lens? It's pretty close. I don't know exactly which one that is, but it's pretty close. So that looks cool. That looks good. All right, now we got to do the battery cap. Battery cap shouldn't be too hard. So what we're gonna do is we're going to let's see. Let's grab this and let's position position this. We could probably go a little bit smaller with the diameter. Something like that. Not too much smaller, you know. Position it like there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hit it with a boolean. Yep. Except this time we're actually going to do union instead of difference. So what we get is that. And that's what we want. And we do something like that. I think would be good. Although now that I'm thinking about it, Actually, I messed up. Undo everything. Undo that. We do actually need this to be bigger. I was thinking about the diameter of the actual battery, but this is going to need to be bigger because it has a wall to it. You know, the wall has thickness, so this actually has to be a bit bigger. The bevel is going to be a little close there, but you know, I can live with it. That's fine. Although, do I even want it to come out at all? Or is that just going to look stupid? Because it could just be inset, I guess. No, I want it to come out. I want it to come out. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back, and we're going to do union again. Oh wait, fuck! I did it on the wrong thing. Doing on this one. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but that's the way I like to do it. Whoops. There we go. So do it like that. So then we take this. Oops, wrong axis. We do that. We'll bring this in a bit, and then we'll go inside with it. What is this? I guess that's just that face, because it's really fucked up geometry. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We can fix that. Just clean up this topology a bit. Just kind of join things randomly. It doesn't matter that much. This is how I work, okay? It's quick and dirty. But that's how I thrive. Something like that. And let's add a loop there. And join that like that. So now when we bevel, we don't get that artifact. Nice. That looks good. Little battery compartment? Little battery compartment, yes. Okay, so now we need to do the actual battery cap. We will actually just make this in its own thing. Auto smooth. Okay, cool. Let's pull it out a bit, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna inset this. I guess to that one, and then we pull this in. We're gonna do a ring connector. I don't know what those are called. Then let's do some knurling. Always got to knurl, because it looks good, and it's really easy. We're just going to poke the faces. Where's poke faces? There we go. And we select these, well, upside down. close. There we go. And then we dissolve those edges. And then we select those, do the face angles, and then we just deselect all of these. And then we dissolve those edges. Then we just get to select all these faces. We use extrude individual, and bada bing, bada boom. Knurling. Although, okay, we don't want to bevel it, though. I hadn't considered that. Also, we want to, before we do that, we want to mark those all as sharp first. That's an important step. That way everything stays nice and sharp. But boom, then we've got some knurling on there. We don't want to bevel the knurling because that just adds a bunch of geometry. But geometry on this is so simple that that's honestly not even a big deal. We can just do this ourselves. Ooh, that looks good. That's looking mighty fine. Alright, so we want to add like this. In fact, I might just steal this if I can. I don't know. It's going to be kind of tricky to repurpose this, but we're going to try. So we want to separate this, and then we want to clear parent, keep transformation, get rid of all of that stuff. Alright, let's not do that. Let's do that. Bring this over here. Probably makes the most sense to go that way, I guess. So we're negative 90 with it. That works. I mean, it fits that. Obviously, this doesn't connect to anything. I also, by scaling the whole thing, I changed the diameter of the wire. I could do this, but that's not really a great fix. Yeah, I'm being really lazy with it. I could easily just use a path and do it again. I don't know. Do I even need to do this? Probably not. Let's see. We want this to be the same diameter. That's the problem with the knurling, is that it works outwards. So, yeah. But I think that works, just leaving it like that. That's fine. You know, if someone loses the battery cap, then that's on them. You know, that's their fault. It's not my fault. That's pretty solid though. I mean, it's far from complete. Well, I mean, maybe not far from complete, but it's not entirely there. But it's there enough for us to get an idea, and that's the important part. I do want to see what this looks like on an actual weapon. I guess one last thing I could do really quickly. I'm going to duplicate this. Scale these up. Or, actually, no, I don't even need to do that. I'm going to select these and just delete those faces. I'm also going to get rid of all of their materials and then fill in all these faces so that we have solid objects. And then, although I'm just realizing that these are not all at the same height, but oh well. We're going to do that, and then we're going to hit this with the boolean. We can, let's see, rubber buttons 2, 3. Where's 1? Oh, okay. Well, let's just select all of those and move them to where we're working. We can hide those temporarily. Okay, we want to boolean those. There we go. So that we get the little recesses. You know, you got to do the little recesses, otherwise the buttons are just floating there and it doesn't look quite right. That works. We can turn this off momentarily, clean up this topology a bit. That was a little off. Why is that? Is this not the same number? I guess it isn't, yeah. Oh well. It's symmetrical enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Something like that. Just connecting all of these gaps enough to where it's not an issue anymore. I guess we also need to, we can clear that seam. And we need to mark these as sharp. Honestly, we don't really even need these faces, but we'll just put them way down in there. So now, when we add the buttons back, doesn't look like much, but then we add the bevel, and boom. I mean, do you notice it? Maybe not that much, but I like putting those details in there. You never know how the light is going to bounce off of the normals and everything. You know, you might see it. Something I did notice though was that these buttons are not at the same height. It seems. So those two are at the same height. Yeah, these buttons are not at the same height. Let's see. Let's grab this one. Pull it down to there. Then we can grab these two, pull them down to the same height. And then we're gonna, I don't want the tops of them coming out over the edge, because then they could get pressed accidentally, you know. So we'll pull them down just a bit. So we got that. I think that looks pretty good. I think that works, honestly. I think that's pretty solid. Yeah, like I said, it's not complete, but it's complete enough to where I want to see what it looks like on an actual weapon model. So I'm going to quickly, let's see, let's make a new collection, and let's just grab all of these, make sure nothing else is selected, and we're going to move those to that new collection 1-1, and we can drop this down. All right, so we're close. For now, I think I'm just going to leave them separate. So let's open up. Let's open up this. Let's go to this. And then we got to bring in our attachments. It takes a second to load because, you know, it's bringing in a lot of stuff. All right, let's see. Outliner. We want to select these objects, move them out of the way. We will hide all of the lights. And let's outfit our weapon. So we're going to put some iron sights on there. I just personally, I mean, we're in the future, right? Even today, in our day and age, iron sights probably don't have much of a use case. Because, I mean, the battery life on most red dots is so good these days. But I just like the way they look, you know, even folded down, they look cool. I like how they look, so I'm gonna put them on there. And then let's grab our magnifier, although it's kind of jank, but we can select those objects. That's why we put it in its own collection. Let's see if it clears the iron sights. It does. Cool. So we put those on there. Something like that. And then I'm going way too far away. Let's grab this and this. This will be our optic of choice. Let's position it correctly. So there we go. I mean, that's pretty rad. I like that. I like that. It could maybe be a bit closer. Let's move the magnifier instead, though, actually. It doesn't really matter in real life how close the magnifier is to the optic, but I do think it looks a bit better when they are closer together. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. Let's add a grip. Let's try a different, or maybe we can just, there we go. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks pretty cool. It's a bit plain, but I think adding the texture will we'll fix that to a degree. I don't know, maybe I will end up adding windage, you know, like centering screws to the sides here just to add a little bit of visual interest. But otherwise, I mean, that looks pretty cool. I'm happy with that. Let's add the suppressor. I don't know why this one is offset on the X. It's not quite the right size. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like that. Let's see what it looks like folded over. Let's see. Rotate Y 145 degrees. Yeah, that looks pretty sick. That looks pretty sick. I'm happy with that. Still not sure if I'm going to add the screws to the bottom of there. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So let's see what it looks like just rotated 90, because I think technically most magnifiers only rotate 90 degrees out of the way. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like enough, you know? It doesn't seem like it's folded enough. Yeah. Let's go back to 145. That just seems better. It's almost actually kind of in line with this angle right here, you know. That works. It's a complete accident, but sometimes accidents happen. I wonder what it would look like with a different optic. So let's hide that. Let's use this one. We need a mount for it though. I don't know if the heights are gonna line up. We won't need this. Oops, we will need that. Yeah, it looks like this is gonna be too tall. Yeah, it doesn't really line up, unfortunately. Maybe a different mount. I don't know. I don't know if the other one is taller or shorter. It looks like this one is shorter. I don't know if it's going to be short enough by enough, though. Although it's actually significantly shorter, so it might be perfect. Did we just get a lucky accident? Oh man, it's a match made in heaven. Yeah, it's pretty sick. That's pretty awesome. We can, well, maybe we just get rid of these. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, that mount is like perfect height, literally. I want to see how close it is. Where is this one's lenses? There we go. Apparently I used, okay. So that's how off it is. That's pretty close. That's wild. And let's see this one folded. I can just select these manually. It's not the whole thing. Yeah. Oh man, this is so much fun when you're like finally done with the mod. I mean, I'm not even done with it, but just like messing around with how it looks is so fun. So you got your battery in here, powered digital magnifier. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. We can use the micro red dot. Can you magnify a micro red dot? I mean, I guess you could. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but if we have the capability, why not, you know? Looks a little silly, I'll admit. It looks a little silly. But it's still pretty cool. Let's use the other one. Where did it go? Oh, I hit it because, yeah. There we go. It's a really long optic. It takes up a lot of rail space, but it also looks pretty sweet. And it fits the height pretty well. I mean, I actually did use this one to judge the height, so it would hopefully work, you know. But yeah, it looks pretty sweet. Yeah, the end is so much fun to just mess around and look at what you've made. I don't have any other like 1x sites, so I don't have anything else to use it with. But, you know, who's to say that you couldn't magnify a magnified object? It looks like it doesn't line up with this one, unfortunately. It's not quite right. It doesn't look quite right. But that's okay. But I mean, okay, this is a good opportunity to check the similarities. So, you know, they've got a very similar profile because these are theoretically made by the same company, right? So very similar shape and profile. And I think that's good, you know. It's got a bit of that, like, you know, EOTech magnifier vibe to it for sure. But, you know, I pull a lot of inspiration from real life stuff, so it's not a bad thing, not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's pretty clear that these are similar products. so that's good. And then if you just want to run a magnifier, you know, go for it. I mean, since this is a digital device, you know, there is theoretically, you know, the possibility that you could just run this as a standalone optic, which you can't do with a regular magnifier, because, you know, a regular magnifier is just, you know, it's just a zoom. It's just like it's a magnifier. There's no reticle. But there's no saying that because it's a digital device that you couldn't just, you know, impose a reticle onto the image, so that you could technically run this as a standalone device. You would want to push it a bit forward, I suppose. It does just kind of look goofy on its own, though. Not really how it's intended to be used. But, yeah, looks good, looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. Let's, you know, while we're doing this, might as well, right? Let's open a different weapon. Similar weapon, but different. Got to bring in the attachments. It takes a second, just like always. There we go. All right. Can we hide this? It's bothering me. There we go. It was too bright. It's pretty dark in my room right now because it's late and I don't have my bright lights on. So that was just like a really bright white screen and it was bothering me. Let's put that like there. Like that. And let's grab the hand stop, because I like how hand stops look on the front of SMGs. I think it just looks cool. Gotta line it up with the rail. I do wish it was a little bit easier to do this. I don't know, there's potentially some kind of dynamic system that you could set up that would make it faster. It's not that hard to do it manually, though. And I don't know of any method that would work, you know. So it's fine doing it this way. I think it goes there, maybe there. No, I don't know. We'll put it there. And then this one goes all the way out front. Fold that down. Fold that down. Hot dog. And the piece de la resistance, whatever it is. The actual thing we've been working on this whole time. Slap the magnifier on there, and let's get ourselves an optic. We'll just go with this one again. Tried and true. Yeah, it looks pretty sweet. Open up the kill flash. Yeah, it'd be really cool if you could do like dynamic rendering, dual rendering, whatever, so that you could actually like look through this as if it was a magnifier. But unfortunately, that is not possible. I mean, I could just, you know, make it transparent, but then it wouldn't be magnified, obviously. Bit of a shame. I suppose technically, if you were working in cycles, because that render engine actually, you know, traces out paths of light. I'm working in Eevee, so this is a rasterized render engine. Cycles is a path tracing render engine. Technically, you could perfectly model the actual interior lenses of the magnifier, and it would work because it would literally be, you know, affecting the light in the way that it should, which would be pretty crazy. The only problem with that is that it would almost assuredly it would be really noisy, because you would be dealing with like so few rays of light that would actually make it through the whole thing. I mean, magnifiers in real life, you know, they dim quite a bit compared to real life, just because not as much light is getting through. Any magnified optic is going to do that, because that's literally what you're doing. You're yeah, I mean, whatever. But I'm just simply saying that it could work, which would be cool. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. We could add a laser to it. I like lasers. We are kind of running out of rail space here. There's only so much room, unfortunately. We're gonna have to flip this front side up to make room. That's fine. And the kill flash is gonna have to go back up, and these are going to have to disappear. But then boom, we've got a laser. Night vision compatible now. Is this full brightness? It is. Let's switch to a different HDRI. There we go. I don't know, these buttons are actually kind of close together. That would potentially cause problems. But we're not going to worry about that. I think it's fine the way it is. Maybe we should change the color of the paracord wrap. I'm thinking, what's a good color? A nice green maybe, a nice dark green. It's a little saturated. There we go. Not bad. Oh, we didn't actually look at what it looks like folded over. Let's take a look. Oh, no, not 180. 145. I think it would run into issues if it was 180. It's pretty close, honestly, even at 145. But yeah, that looks pretty sweet. Get a bit of aim down sights action. Wonder what this would look like if I made it silver instead of black. It's very shiny. I don't know, is that worse? I guess that's probably worse, right? Do I have a more dull silver? I've got dark silver. Yeah, it's maybe a bit better. There's like no texture on that though. Is there actually? There actually is no texture on that. Do I have one that does have texture? No. Hold on. Dark silver. Dark silver. Man, I really gotta consolidate this shit. Alright, I guess I don't have one. I mean, I could just do it really quick. It's not that hard. We'll use that one. Plug it into the roughness. It's a little splotchy, but we can fix that. Let's go to like a minimum of 0.2 and a maximum of 0.5. That's maybe still a bit too shiny. Maybe 0.3 minimum. Does that look cool? I mean, kind of. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to make the outside so shiny. My only real reasoning for doing that is that because it's made by the same company that makes this optic, you know, it's got the silver like lens. I don't even know what you call that. And so like to keep even greater brand continuity, maybe you would make that silver, but honestly, I don't even know. I mean, it honestly doesn't look that bad with the silver on there. I don't hate it. I just don't know if it's better than black. It's also a bit weird with the hinge where it's half of it's black and half of it's silver. I don't know. I mean, it kind of works, but it's not the best. Set it back to black. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll have to clean it up and rig it later, but I think as far as this session goes, I think that was pretty successful. Definitely better than my first attempt. So that's good. Let's go back to this. Make sure this is all the same. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do that. That's going to do it. So